Hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Blessing be to your day and all that it is. And it's just an honor to be with you and honor this next level of teaching for the week 2 of the Diamond Heart Project. And this week we're talking about frequency and vibration and how important those things are. I want to dive into a couple of the steps we have listed on the email that you're going to be receiving. I described kind of what the frequency and vibration is. Just know that frequency is like a level change of energy, and vibration is the rate of the light that vibrates in that space. And vibration can always be elevated or decreased based on your intention and what you put in the power of that area or the frequency or your intention. The frequency is more like a state. It's more like a state of being. When I say frequency, I don't mean frequency as far as like what's your frequency of workout, like, I work out 3 times a week. It's more about a frequency is if you want a statistical level of understanding, like frequency is more like a upgrade or a change or an elevation of energy. So you're elevating your frequency, and then there's a vibration, and that frequency can operate at a low or a higher vibration based on your intention or actions at moment that happen. Maybe in times, maybe in medicine ceremonies or experiences in meditation, you have these waves of energy that come through your system, and that's like an elevation of vibration. Compared to frequencies is kind of where like a state of being. And when you come out of say like an ayahuasca ceremony, you're at a certain frequency, and you feel that in your system for hours, days, if not weeks, post the gathering, as you work on your integration. And there is a certain way of techniques or integration tools we can do to kind of harness that frequency and keep a hold of it for as long as possible. And by elevating, it's like elevating the frequency or the vibration. And so if you think of it like a balloon or a water balloon, like the balloon is the frequency and the water is the vibration. The more you pump into it, the more it can expand that frequency, but it's going to stay where it is. Anyways, not to get too depth on this, we can always ask more questions and have more sharing around this topic of discussion. It's more about how it relates in your system and how you can relate to this and how you can have a relationship with it, aka feel it, recognize it, have awareness around it, connect to it, whatever terms you want to put in there. But it's more about overall your relationship to it and being able to do those things. And so we're talking about vibration and frequency this week. So there are suggestions. Some of you were on the call on Monday's morning meditation, which had to do about, we did what they call the big Om. And Om is the frequency of the cosmos, of the universe. It's a frequency and vibration of the universe, of the cosmos. And so Oming, the big Om we did, is a practice where you Om, like a rolling Om, like you Om, and then you take a breath and you Om again. But know that Om is not the reference of OM. It's more like the sound of AUM, because you develop that Om coming from the deep Ah. Know that every beginning of sound or vibration starts with an Ah. Like the alphabet starts with A. And so you begin that Aum sound, and that Oo sound of the Om comes up through the chest, and is as you come out the lips. And so this is a wonderful mantra or chant that you can do to elevate your practice. I know coming out of Monday morning's meditation, I felt completely elevated in the vibration in my system, and really felt a solid frequency of where I was holding that space for the day. So it helped, vibration helped solidify the frequency I held for the day, if that makes more sense. We can answer lots of questions on this in the integration calls, just so you know. But anyways, so one of the practices we're launching this week is about mantras and chanting. And there are no specific mantras that I suggest, and there are none that I not suggest. It's open to all of you, and to whatever calls to you. Whether you try to chant at a yoga class an hour or a year ago, or you went to a bhakti fest and they did a chanting meditation, or you saw something online, or something we've done in ceremony. Like either way, like I want to invite you to bring in some mantra or chanting work into your practice this week. When I still at the ashram, you could apply to have a special service by the swamis who live there, and you would go into a couple hour ceremony with them privately, and they would channel a mantra that would be a specific mantra for you to do in your practices. So that's just one elevation of that. And so there's that. That's one of the steps, is around adding some chanting or mantra work to your practices and see how it resonates with you. You could do it in the morning, do it in the afternoon, do it in the evening, do it in your car as you drive somewhere. Anywhere you like to invoke some mantras and chanting, and just tune in to what you feel from that space when you feel complete with it. You're tuning into the vibration. You're just tuning into elevate your frequency. And there's many different ways to interpret it. And on a basic level, how do you feel? Do you feel more energetic? Do you feel more calmed down? Do you feel more energized? Do you feel clarity of thought? Do you have more purpose ideas that come through? Does it unlock an understanding of information within you? Like, all these different aspects can happen when you begin to invoke mantras or chanting into your daily life. So with a big Om is a workshop that I teach. It's not all about Oming, but it is something that we do. If you've been in ceremony with me, we always Om in the beginning and the end of ceremony to open and close the frequency of the container. And so the container. And this can help build, aka energy field around you. It also can elevate your energy field or elevate the vibration. Just know that, say, example, like worry, doubt, and fear are a lower vibration, a lower frequency, and unconditional love, trust, all these kind of things are a higher frequency. And so chanting and mantras can help elevate you out. If you feel like you're spinning in a space of worry, doubt, and fear, can help elevate you out of that to get into more clarity. And on a deeper level, like what this week is also about is like beginning to invoke your voice. Recognize that, as we've talked about, the cosmos, universe, source, creation is made of two things. One is light and one is sound. And so in your voice, when you invoke something, when you speak it into existence, it's really important. And what you're doing is you're creating a communication with the cosmos, call it your angelic realm, the higher self, the spirit guides. And know that there is an energetic realm, or a realm of unseen beings that are always around us, whether you believe it or not. They're always here to help and support us. And so by you invoking their support, by even just asking, you've now give them access. It's almost like picking up the phone and dialing the number and calling them, like the old rotary phones we had, my era. Anyways, by invoking or asking for some support or for guidance, you now opened up that energetic channel to give them permission to come help you. You have to ask. They're waiting. It's like they're waiting for the phone call. And so it's the power of your voice. And we also we're kind of parlaying this into when you open up that place of intuition, you might begin to receive sounds or vibrations or conversations through intuition. It might be one of the ways you receive this connection. And what's interesting is they'll talk to you in whatever language you speak, right? And so it doesn't matter like how you say it or like what you say. It's about how you say it in a place of openness. And your voice is perfect. We talked about like the big Om, like how you speak in the Om is your interpretation of the frequency of creation, and it's perfect. It's not right. It's not wrong. And so invoking some support by asking, you can also ask in your meditations, like I call in some support on how to tune into my intuition. I call in support of how to hear my spirit guides. I call in support of how to hear my highest self communicating to me. Some people receive it audibly, visually, energetically, somatically. Like for me, my experience was through meditation, and I saw this with my eyes closed. I saw this like twinkling star out here, and over the course of like 3 weeks, with every inhale, that star would come closer and come closer and come closer. And over the course of meditating for more than an hour a day for 3 weeks, not that it takes that, which is my experience, that star like at one moment or a certain breath like hit me in the forehead, and everything opened up. And my intuition or my guidance, my internal guidance started out as visual. And it was like looking at a mirror view mirror. Like I would look up here and I would see pictures back here. And there were beings there. And everything that was communicated was through hand signals. So this was This was no, and this was yes. And all I could ask would be very clear, direct questions. I couldn't ask like, where should I move to? It was like, should I move here, this location? Should I move there, that location? And it was that way for many years, and that began to build the trust. And then it moved into more of an audible standpoint, and then it moved into more of a somatic, and then it moved into more of a knowing. So it evolved itself. But the point is that even those hand signals or the pictures were vibrations and frequencies that my mind was seeing, because that was vibration of light, right? So the more we can tune into this, we can begin to have clarity with it, or understand it more, or receive it more, because we're allowing it to come in, and we're elevating our system to receive that frequency. It's like just like a radio program, or having a radio monitor or a walkie-talkie. Like, it has to be on the same frequency as another one for it to fully connect, to be able to communicate. The exact same thing we're trying to do. Not trying to, is what we're doing. So one of the practices that is very, very, very functional in that is mantras and chanting. My first practice was with a Buddhist monk priest, and chanting with him and we would do these chants. And then when I moved to the Buddhist monastery, we'd chant for 45 minutes, all these different Japanese chants. They were in the Renzaiji lineage of Buddhism. And so it was one thing that really amplified that connection for myself. So it's the same thing for you. Again, there's no right, no wrong chant. And so one of the steps in the email you're going to receive is asking for help, asking for assistance. And it might come in that moment. It might come days later, weeks later, months later, who knows? But you continue to ask. And your vibration of your request opens up the channel for them to receive and have a communication with you, or connect to your highest self. Again, you're not connecting to anything outside of yourself. It's your deepest part of who you are in the higher dimensions of self. And when you receive information, it's also highly important to say things like, thank you, I received that. Give gratitude for it. Like, gratitude opens up another level of understanding. It's a higher frequency of understanding. And give gratitude for the breath. Give gratitude for the water you're drinking. The ability to get up and have a day, no matter what that day brings itself. There's another program, not a program, but there's another kind of like, I won't call it a brand, but there's like a slogan I'm launching called, for the first relationship of the day. And the first relationship of the day is with your breath. And how you welcome in that breath is going to determine how your day unfolds. Whether you welcome it with gratitude, or, oh my gosh, here's another day. Like, depending on how you welcome that first breath. I mean, yes, you're breathing all the way through your sleep, but that first conscious awareness of breath, like, how do you welcome that into your system? Is it with gratitude? Are you thankful for that moment of being able to wake up for another day? It's going to shift the entire day. So what you speak into existence is very powerful, and that's all. Your voice is vibration. Like, I'm saying things in English language, but it's more like just vibrations are coming out of my mouth, and you're understanding them because there is an agreement around a certain language. But everything that's happening is vibration and frequency. So, ask for assistance and help. The second of all is as the thank you, I receive this. It's important to learn how to receive. If you love to give, it's important for you to learn how to receive. And when somebody offers you a suggestion, an idea, a support, or you receive an internal message as you're walking down the street or in your practice, like you take a moment and you say, thank you, I received this. It's really important. So that's where we are for the day. Thankful for everything, for all of you, for listening to this. If you have any questions, let me know. I found a way to record it and post it. So here we are. If there's more questions, we can ask them on the integration calls around the steps. And we'll go from there. Okay. Hope this made sense and you receive this. Blessings. Mahalo.